Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero, over the head of Jenks, Uribe charges, throws, out, and the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle of the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh!
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thank you for tuning in. Woo, Charlie, on this Hump Day edition. Hump Day! Yes, yes, yes. Guys, I'm fired up, man. Let me tell you something. I am fired up. I had a kick-ass workout this morning. Woo! And I'm ready to roll, baby. Ready to rock. Man, listen, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button. Now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Oh, Shawn and Maya. Whoa, that's crazy. Go to Freudian slip there. Go to YouTube channel. Go to Sports Zone Chicago, our YouTube channel. Okay, and do that as well. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, guys, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now you can also tweet the show, tweet me at Sports Zone Shy, the CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. We got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching this on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's see. Let's check the chat. The chat seems to be jumping already. That's what I'm talking about. Cornelius Squall is checking in. What up, what up, what up, ShawnSierraSports fans? I'm still in Victory Monday mode. I hear you. My man, Mr. Southside himself, Mr. Michonne Walls. What up on a hump day? And how about the burp? Man, no. The burpees sucked this morning, bro. I stopped doing them. I stopped doing them because I didn't want to. Because I just didn't want to. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. is in the house. Junior, what's up, bro? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. My man Dan Shortino, Mr. Shorty himself is in the house. What's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. A lot of everyone else exchanging pleasantries in the chat. So, listen, we got a great show, man. I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for today's show at 10 o'clock. Kole Noble from A to Z Sports. He was on a couple of weeks ago. Kole Noble from A to Z Sports is on. He's going to join me at 10 o'clock today. We're going to talk all things Bears. Fired up. It's just Sure says, I appreciate you pronouncing my last name correctly. Ain't no problem. Rick Gonzalez, what up, fool? Hola, fool. FGP, what? Oh, dude. You're going to like this, bro. You are going to like this. Where do those go? Yeah. We're getting... So there's a lot more that goes into just a swag store than just saying, okay, boom, here's the link. Wow. This is a wow. But what is this? Okay. So I had talked to my guy, and these hats are going to be available, and I know, Rick, you're going to dig them, baby. You're going to dig them. But a whole bunch of other people are going to dig them as well. Yeah. We need all those right there. Shish kebab. Oh, you did that already. Okay. Yeah, so we got a lot of cool stuff. So 10 o'clock, Kole Noble going to join us. So we got a lot of other stuff to talk. Cubs, man, this is the wrong time of the year. Did I mention that? Wrong time of the year for you to be on a schneid. Wrong time. Yeah, Shorty, it was. It was pretty cool. But also, we got, where'd you go? Oh. This is coming too. Embroidered hat, as well as Sports Zone Chicago hat embroidered. But yeah, I know this one is going to be, a lot of people are going to like those. Yeah. But I'm excited. We got a lot to talk about. Cubs having an issue. Sox having an issue. It was, let me tell you something. It was frustrating watching that Sox game yesterday. Shane Smith with another great, really, really, really good start, man. And just couldn't get it done. Closers gave it up. Wow. Yeah. So it's going to be, looks like a third consecutive 100-loss season for my White Sox. We're going to talk about that. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to talk about it with we'll talk about it with Kole Noble. Shish kebab. You know what? I hate to do this. I got to take a quick break. All right, I got to take a quick break. And I'll be back right after that. All right? Keep it locked right here. ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, There's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
At a time when the news seems as subjective as the partisan politics dividing this country, independent professional journalism has become a resource people need to get the honest and accurate information for their lives. That's why I created gervondextersr.com. As a born and raised Chicagoan, I know this city better than anyone. So my investigative stories are all original, and they'll go deeper to expose the truth by using information obtained from public information databases and in-depth interviews with the movers and shakers. My future stories will introduce you to people and businesses who are changing the world, not just Chicago. My missing person stories will spotlight those who you don't hear about in the mainstream media, who are often overlooked. If you want to hear my personal views on things around the world, check out my blog site, which is based off of factual information on my life experiences. There's also past episodes of my weekly sports podcast show, What's Up Cuz, that I host with my real-life cousin, Lance Irvin. So if you're looking for all this information and more, check out jcoydenreports.com and follow me on Twitter at jcoyden.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Here's pitch number 80 for Luis Heel. Deep drive to right field, and this one is gone! Oh my! Colson Montgomery, that one went way back into the Bronx night. A two-run shot, and the White Sox take the lead here in the 6th inning.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CHSN, Chicago Sports Network. Those are the good guys in the boogie down Bronx. You see him, Colson Montgomery with another blast. That was a deep when he got all of that one. That was a no-doubter. Let me tell you something. The home runs that Colson Montgomery has hit, there's 19 of them. None of them have been cheap. None of them have just been a high pop fly that just kept carrying, got taken by the wind and right over the fence. He does not play. He's gotten bigger from when they drafted him. He's been lifting weights. I don't know how much weight, how often he lifts weights, but he's just growing into his body. All right, they drafted him. He was 18 years old. All right, now he's like 22, 23. You just grow into your body. You fill out. And I'm sure he's hitting the weight room a little bit as well, but you just kind of fill out, and man, that was deep. Wow. Yeah. Let's see. Just more pleasantries. Oh, my man, Black Diamond checking in. What's up, Papa? Says, yo, top of the morning game. We got to treat this as a trap game. We should run them out of the Legion Stadium. As you say, Shawn, give your opponent the proper respect, and you will dominate. You're damn right. You're damn right. Okay, this is a team that can. You have to be prepared and understand that they're professionals too. They're professionals too. Prepare. There's a way to prepare. It doesn't matter who you're going against. There's a way you prepare for every game, and that is the standard. Whether the team is 0-5, team's 5-0, team's 4-4, it doesn't matter. You prepare the same way every week for whoever your opponent is, and you give them the utmost respect and realize they can beat you. This is the NFL. You know the old saying, on any given Sunday, So you give them the respect they deserve. Okay, you go at practice full goal like you did last week, and let the chips fall where they may. Let's see. Oh, Black Diamond says, y'all got something in that kid. You must be talking about Coastal Montgomery. Yeah, that kid is, whew. And what was crazy is that I didn't know I didn't know when he was gonna get up, because remember he got drafted in 21, I want to say. All right, and Tim Anderson was still one of the top shortstops in the American League. All right, his batting title, he's hitting 300 at the top of the batting list. Okay, for a couple of years, and you're like, man, where's this kid gonna play? Now with TA leading off, hitting homers, all right, hitting 300, and wow, how fast that changed. So yes, I agree, Black Diamond. Ben needs to be more of a prick than usual. Yeah. All right, because you just can't let everybody rest on their laurels and think because you won one game, now that the way that you prepare can be diminished. The intensity can be decreased. No. If anything more, you should, as a pro and bench, you should salivate. Every time you win, you should be more anxious, more fired up for the next practice, for the next game. Okay? Because you understand, you saw what a good practice turned into. You should want better practices this week. My man King Booker World checking in. What's up, Papa? How are you? Says salute everyone. And Shawn, salute, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Shorty says we always get shitty penalties to ruin drives when we play the Raiders. I hate playing the Raiders. Well, let's not do some dumb shit then. And that's one of the things that we can talk about. There were no pre-snap penalties. Okay, they got that in order. They got up to the line. The way that they were able to get to the line was really, really impressive. It sounds like a silly thing, but just the ability, to you came out, you're disciplined. All right, you're very disciplined. No pre-snap penalties, something that had haunted us for a while, and you take care of that. Now, can you continue to do that? Can you continue to make sure that there are no pre-snap penalties? Can you continue to focus? We're going to find out. What is this? Oh, high current count. King Booker World said, I think Ben has already instilled the quote-unquote on to the next, unquote, mentality. On Bayard's podcast even said, we ain't done shit yet. Yeah, good. And you have to think that way. You have to think that way. You got one win. Excellent. How many teams have one win on the season? You're not special right now. You're not special. And you need to go about securing a second win. Because even if you win next week, how many teams will have 2 wins? How many teams will have 3 wins? Still not special. I'm excited for this whole weekend. Unfortunately, I will not be in Vegas. That stinks. I scrolled through. I was looking through Facebook real quick, and I saw a buddy of mine posted a picture of him on a plane heading to Vegas today. Very nice. Very nice. So I know a whole bunch of people. My guy Eddie from Output is going to be there. They're debuting. They're having a watch party out there. They're debuting an Output food truck. He has a ghost kitchen out there. So it's not a brick and mortar, but people can order Output wings in Vegas. So yeah, so a lot of people are going out there. They're having a party, a watch party. So it's gonna be good. A whole bunch of people. It's gonna be awesome. It's unfortunate I'm not gonna be there. That would be dope. That'd be a phenomenal time. But anyway, let's get back to. Oh snap! It's almost time for us to come up on our second break. Sorry, I had to take a quick break. They're redoing our roofs, all right, the shingles and everything, and our townhome, and this is someone at the door, and I had to go deal with that. So if you hear, they haven't been making any noise right now, but if you hear anything in the background, that's what's going on. They're redoing our roofs, and yeah. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. And they had me go move my car because my car was in the driveway. They're like, they need to get it in the driveway so they can throw the shingles off the roof, right into the receptor, big container that they, that you have, big garbage disposal thing. So, yeah. But we're going to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, listen, we will have top of the morning topics. Because I can't wait to get into some talk, man. Get into some Cubs talk, some Bears, some White Sox talk, some Bears talk, some hockey talk. Old-time hockey. Hockey is back, baby. Connor Bedard looked good. He looked good yesterday. We'll talk about that as well. So we have a lot to get into. All right. So keep it locked right here, folks. ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago.
911, operator 901. Where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
Do you know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so... know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
For 18s is coming over to the Cubs. Fly ball out to right field. Soto easing back to the warning track, and it's over his head and into the ivy. 2-run score. Santana the second with a double, and the Cubs go in front 2-1.
Even with a win, the ball that Juan Soto should have had, and the recent shoddy defense of the New York Mets comes
base hit to right field, stole a base, scored a run in the first. Line drive, base hit left field. Turner in to score. Shaw will stop at third. Nico Horner. Dynamite!
And the Cubs now lead 3-1. Struck out his first time.
Line drive out towards left center field, and that's going to score a couple. Happ around first, on his way to second. In is Shawn. Now comes Nico.
2-run double Ian Happ. Cubs lead 5-1.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Those were the Northsiders yesterday up in Wrigleyville with we're going to talk about that. Talk about that in a moment. Let's see. Shoot. Talk about that in a moment. Let me get this off because, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
She won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yeah, see, which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Go this way. The Cubs. Sorry, guys. Cubs. They fall to the New York Metropolitans. Both teams are playing in New York, huh? Cubs fall to the Mets at Wrigley 9-7 yesterday. Cade Horton. He started the game and got a no decision. 3 innings, 2 hits, earned a run, 1 strikeout. He left the game early on after the third. We had some reports it was respiratory, but it was his back. But he left the game, so that really sucked. Ian Happ was 1 for 4 with a double, his 30th, driving in his 2 RBIs, bringing his total to 76 for the season. Santana, he was 1 for 4 with a double, his 11th, driving in 2 RBIs, his 53rd and 54th of the season. Nico Horner, who's competing for a batting title, was 3 for 5 with an RBI, his 60th of the season. Staying with the Cubs, host the Mets again tonight. All right, up on the north side. Let's see. First pitch is at 7:05 p.m. Central. You can catch that game. That's going to be on ESPN, not a Marquee. ESPN, but you can also listen to it locally on 670 a.m., their flagship station, at 670 to score. The probables for today's game for the Mets, Jonah Tong, who's 2-2 with a 5.94 ERA, going up against Matthew Boyd for the Northsiders. He's 13-8 with a 3.20 ERA. Now, the Cubs have lost, 5 in a row, 6 in a row? This is not what they need to be doing right now. Not what they need to be doing right now at all. And I don't know. This is a situation where I talked about them getting, if they can get hot, they could be dangerous, but they just keep losing. They just keep losing. And I don't know what it is, but they need to figure this out quick. They need to figure it out really, really, really quick, because there's a lot going on right now. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now, and the Cubs are just not. Yeah. And since they clinched last week, they haven't won. Since the Cubs clinched last week, they haven't won. So I don't know what to tell you. You know, you look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 games in a row. Oh, snap. Here we go. Shawn showing fake concern for the Cubs has quickly become my favorite segment of the day. I say that because my best friend is a big Cub fan, and I have to do the same. Oh, my goodness. That's awesome. That's awesome. But keeping it moving, the next top of the morning topic. Yeah, this one hurt. This one hurt. Man. The White Sox got walked off in the Bronx last night, 3-2 to the Yankees. Shane Smith got the start, no decision, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 8 punch-outs. Colson Montgomery, you saw in our first commercial break, he was 1 for 4 with that homer, his 19th of the season, driving in his 50th and 51st RBIs of the year. Brooks Baldwin was 1 for 4, driving in 2 runs, his 12th and 13th on the season. That loss takes the White Sox total up to 99 losses this year. For the White Sox to avoid 100 losses, they would have to win the remaining 5 games on the schedule. I don't know about you, but I do not feel very confident in our boys doing that. I don't feel very confident in that at all. So it's inevitable, the 3rd consecutive 100-loss season for this White Sox team. And the crazy part about it is this is an improvement. This is a much better team, much better outlook than last year. Isn't that something? Staying with the White Sox. Next top of the morning topic, the White Sox take on the Yankees again tonight. First pitch at 6:05 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 a.m. The probables for tonight's game for the White Sox to be determined. For the Evil Empire, the New York Yankees, Max Fried is on a bump for them. He's 18-5 with a 2.92 ERA. 18-5. God bless it. Whew. Excuse the heck out of me. Wow, that's whew, right where you want to be at this time of year. You know, try and get your 20. I mean, he most likely won't, because there'll be 4 games left after today. So he most likely will not be able to get his 20th, even if they do win, but still. You want to be around the 20-game mark. The problem is that because there's a 5-man rotation now, the amount of times you get to pitch are reduced. Okay, back when I was growing up, back in my day, it was a 4-man rotation. All right, they had 4. It was 4 pitchers, not 5. So you pitched a lot more. You pitched a hell of a lot more. So getting 20 wins nowadays is it's a big deal. And don't get me wrong, it was a big deal back then too, but it's more of a big deal in my estimation because you pitch less. All right, you got 5 guys instead of 4. You pitch every 4 days instead of every 5th. So Foster Covers checking in. What's up, Papa? How are you? Thank you for tuning in, sir. I appreciate it. Good. Let's go to the next top of the morning topic. Blackhawks. Man, the Blackhawks, they fell in their preseason debut. Tough yesterday. Soderblom, he was between the pipes. He stopped 40 of 43 shots. Connor Bedard, he lit the lamp. A power play goal. His first of the preseason, assisted by Rinzel and Frank Nazar, both of their first assists of the season. Kaiser got the second goal for the Blackhawks, his first of the preseason, obviously. That was assisted by Thompson or someone else too. I think I messed that one up. My apologies. Who was that? Thompson and Lezhonov. Both assisted on Kaiser's goal. That's tough. That's a tough one. Interesting you say that, Rick. Rick says, hockey already? Why it seems like it takes 2 years for a bear season and seems like 2 weeks off for hockey and basketball, FGB? Well, because the NHL has the shortest offseason. King Bookwell, you're a fool. This is how it's pronounced. Lezhonov. Oh, man. And the Bears are back in action today. Steve-O. The Bears are back in action today, prepping for the matchup on Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders. It was at 3:25 p.m. Central Time. That game is not on Fox. The game is on CBS 2, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 AM. You can listen to the Bears. Don't please ignore the flyer on the screen. It's not Fox. It's on Channel 2. It's on CBS. Channel 2. Game of the week. Tom Brady. His team. I don't know. I like his relationship with Caleb. It's interesting just because You got the greatest of all time befriending the number 1 overall pick. If he can impart one drip of how to play quarterback at a high level, just one nugget. That's what I want to say. One nugget. I'll be happy. Junior says, I was very happy with the Bears win because I'm in my alma mater group and everybody's a Cowboy fan. 70+ guys and me, the lone Bears fan. Oh, and a chat. That's awesome. That's right, because Junior played down in Mexico. Junior played in Mexico. So, yeah, they're close to Dallas. And Junior said the group got real quiet Sunday after the third quarter. Rick said, we have to win this game. I can't go 2 weeks of doom and gloom before the big rematch versus Washington, FGB. Yeah, that would be – yeah. Is it me or is Tom Brady a very announcer? Yeah, he's not great. He's not great. It's not great. Shorty says, I hope the game is broadcast in ATL because if it's not, I can't watch any football because they will give score updates. Okay. Caleb did get, say that 5 times real fast. Caleb did get the LFG award last week. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. And yeah, Tom just needs to work. Tom seems so robotic. All right, he's getting better, but even his personality seems robotic. Because this is his personality, but he seems kind of like a fake dude. We all know those people who are fake in our lives. Okay, we know those types of people. And Tom seems like one of those fake guys. Like a good-looking used car salesman. Just, I don't know. One of the only times I ever saw him, I would say I didn't see him being robotic, was when he was talking to Charles Woodson. Remember they got those two together? And for those of you who don't know, they both went to Michigan. They're at Michigan. They're both Michigan grads. And they went, they were there together. They played together. And they were talking, and Charles Woodson was talking about the tuck rule. Was that the tuck rule? I think that was a tuck rule with the Raiders. So, and Charles Woodson was like, come on, man. And he got a little emotional because that was his chance to get a Super Bowl ring. And NFL, in their all their power, decided they made up the tuck rule bullshit. And it robbed the Raiders and Charles Woodson of an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl for the title. And you saw Tom like just so like he felt bad because that's his friend. That's his former teammate. Like if you're competing against people, you don't really care. When you have a history with people and they're former friends, former teammates of yours, and you see how it affects someone that you cared about so much, yeah, that showed me Tom was human. that showed me Tom was human, because it showed that he really cared about Charles Woodson and how he felt. And he couldn't say anything. He couldn't be like, yeah, they made it for me because I'm Tom Brady and you're not. You know what I mean? Yeah. Woodson got that Super Bowl win with them assholes up north. FGB, 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 FGB. Rick, you're on fire, baby. Rick also says Caleb has to be NFC Player of the Week. He better get it, FGB. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. In the first 3 weeks, the Bears will have a hand in NFC Player of the Week. Remember, J.J. McCarthy got it week 1 for his scoring of he's leading the Vikings back in a win over the Bears, scoring 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Then week 2, Jared Goff got it when he threw the ball all over the yard. He got NFC Player of the Week. And now this week, if Caleb gets it, 3 consecutive Player of the Weeks that came from the Bears game. He does deserve it. Who else did well, though? I'm trying to think. I can't think of. Let me see something. So, forgot about this. Forgot about that. Where were we at? Shoot, I was looking at this and the Player of the Week. That'd be dope. That'd be real dope if he ends up getting it. Pardon me. Oh, that's who it was. Yeah, Cole, thank you. David Montgomery. He might get 150-something yards on the ground. Yeah. Rick says maybe Monty. Shorty says, damn it, I missed Monty. What the hell, Ryan Poles? No, that's not Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles has had his share of screw-ups, but that wasn't on Ryan Poles. David Montgomery was a free agent. All right. The Lions and the Bears both made offers, very similar offers. I think the Lions had a little more guaranteed money. And he chose to go with the Lions. He chose them over us. That's exactly what he did. They didn't let him go. They didn't let him go. He chose to sign. They gave him an offer very comparable. I think, like I said, it was just more, a little more guaranteed money. But he wanted to go to Detroit. He saw what they were building. He saw what was happening. And he wanted to go there. And, man. Yeah. Booker World. Yeah, Monty wanted to leave. Poles offered him the same amount. He said football wasn't fun here. And it wasn't. So F. Dave Montgomery, you lose your nickname. Rick, I don't know if I can agree with you more. Can we just cut Rojo? What the hell? We keep a running back just to play special teams, FGB. And the whole purpose of him, one of his biggest things, besides his great character, such a great young man, he's a power back. He's a short yardage guy. And you didn't use him in short yardage, and he was healthy. He was dressed. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. Yeah, just cut him. What the hell? What do you need him for? I just don't. That doesn't make sense to me. One more top of the morning topic. MLB announced they will use the automated ball and strike system. ABS. Next season, not Nest. So that'll be basically you could challenge it, say, hey, that was a ball, that wasn't a ball, that was a strike, that wasn't a strike. And I don't know if they're going to play it on the big screen or how they're going to do that, but technology's here. Rick Rojo has. That's what I said. Junior said that last night in our thread. We have a thread, me, Junior, and Mondo. And Junior says, I don't know how number 23, Roshan Johnson. I don't know how number 23 is still on the Bears. And I wrote, he has great character. Like Diamond, you feel me, dog? You feel me? He's got great character. One of the greatest young men I've met in my life. King Booker says they can't cut Roshan. They need him to go and talk to the kids at schools because he has great character. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, man. Well, listen, we're going to take another break. That's what we think of, like, because we have great character. I'm like, Diamond. We have great character. Junior, you're right. Junior says to me, when you underperform, you don't have a name. You just have a jersey number. I couldn't agree more. If you're a kicker, you never get a name. You just kicker. I don't call you by a number. Just kicker. So I have a kid from Curie, Dominic Kozlowski. Nice young Polish man. Grew up in one of the big Polish areas here in Chicago. One was by Curie High School. One on the south side is one on the north side. St. Bruno's. He kicked for us at Curie. And to this day, he just got married last year, 2 years ago, something like that. To this day, I do not call him Dominic or Kaz or Dom. It's kicker. The guy in the Thunder, Jamie Clemens. Same thing. His birthday. Happy birthday, kicker. And I said, congratulations to Dominic when he got married. Congratulations, kicker. He just laughed. So kickers, for me, they just get called kickers. And players, when you suck, you just get called a number. But anyway, let's take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, Kole Noble Sports is going to join us. We're going to talk all things Bears. You're definitely not going to want to miss this. All right, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Every body in a work zone is someone's somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
What was it like for you to have your vision, everything that you've been trying to get engineered here, materialize on the field?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, the first 2 weeks have not gone the way we wanted to. And, you know, it's early, and but we got to get the issues fixed. And I thought the guys were committed to that here this week. And we had a good week of preparation, and they came out and they played inspired football today. And so good things happen when you're playing hard, you're playing physical, and you're playing for the guy next to you. And I thought that's what happened here today.
What was the kind of thought process of putting that play in, especially running at that particular time right after Caleb throws a touchdown?
Yeah, we have gadgets up every week. I give the staff a lot of credit. They're going through and they're watching the tape and finding out things that may or may not fit. From whether it was Dallas this year or some of the stuff we're watching of Chicago's defense from yesteryear. So that was really a staff find, and like I said, we worked it all week and felt really comfortable calling it this week.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That's the man, $13 million grand. That's our head coach, Ben Johnson, post-game. He's talking about when to run certain plays and things like that. Let's welcome our next guest. My next guest has been on here a few times. He works for A to Z Sports. He covers the Bears for them. You can find him on Twitter at ATOZ, A to Z _Schlaw. Let's welcome back to ShawnSierraSports, Kole Noble. Kole, what's up, Papa? How are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Shawn. How about them Bears?
How about them Bears? How about them Cowgirls? Man, the Bears did them, boy. I'm telling you. I was
Yeah.
thinking that. I was yelling at the bar because at the bar I was at, it was hilarious. So there was my buddy had a viewing party. Like I had a viewing party the week before. My buddy had a viewing party Sunday, and it was at another friend's bar. And there was a big group of Cowboy fans in there celebrating his birthday. Oh man, I lit into him. I was just a jagbag. I wasn't even drinking. I wasn't drinking until after the game. During the game, I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
I just laid into him. I was just a total jagbag. I can completely admit it.
Yeah, I go to some friends to a brewery, and they do trivia every Tuesday. And the bartender, I guess, at the brewery is a Bears fan. The last 2 weeks, or his first 2 weeks of the season, it was tough. It was like, oh, tough loss. And then last night, the bartender wasn't there, so I was like, hopefully they're out celebrating and not working on a Tuesday, because I was really excited to be like, let's go Bears. But they weren't there last night.
Yeah, well, listen, it was a great win. All right, it was a great win, and I talked about it on Monday, and I was like, look, I understand it was the Dallas Cowboys, not the number one ranked defense in the world, but a W is a W. This isn't college football, okay? Style points don't matter. You get the W, you win by 1, you win by 50, it doesn't matter. We're not going to drop any AP poll, okay? So talk to me about your thoughts, first of all, about the win, just in general, but then how they were able to stave off the Cowboys, because Cowboys wanted to make a run late, but the Bears just wouldn't let them.
Yeah, I think it starts a week from today, actually, that Wednesday, where Ben Johnson came out, sent that message before practice that they're not practicing like a championship caliber team. We heard Caleb after practice saying it was a much more focused group that day. Declan Doyle said the same thing on Thursday, and then they come out on Sunday, and they're just playing for the guy next to each other, is what Ben Johnson basically said. Like, they looked like they were playing for each other. Tyreek Stevenson pretty much got the game started, running down Javonte Williams, because if he doesn't get that turnover and the Cowboys score there, I think you see all the energy just get depleted on that sideline. And it even felt like on that run, like when Javonte broke off that run, I was sitting there, I was like, here we go again. And I feel like a lot of people in the press box were feeling the same way. I was watching at home, but that's the way I felt. And I was like, here we go again. And then Tyreek gets that fumble, strips it out of his hand, and then, off to the races from that point. So I think it was just, the energy was there this time. And I want to see, another opportunity. I don't know if it'll be this week against the Raiders, but at some point this team's going to get down, and I want to see how they respond. But it was great to see them start out quick and be able to carry that momentum through all 4 quarters.
He deboed it from him.
Yeah.
He just took it like he's like, this is my ball, punk. I was doing that on Monday. This is my ball, punk. And it was a phenomenal play. And I've often wondered why more people don't do that, especially when you got the guy from behind. If you lift up his elbow and twist his arm back, like your shoulder doesn't go that way. So to get the ball out, to rip it out that way, would be pretty easy. Just biology, your arm just doesn't do that. Your arm's not ready. Kinesiology, your arm isn't meant to go back this way. All right. So if you pull that wrist back, that ball's going to come out. And that was one of the things I used to teach my kids when I was a defensive coordinator. If you got him, pull that arm back. Okay, so and he's going to let go of the ball. Phenomenal play. It turned the tide of the game because you're right. You said it. If Dallas goes in first, it's probably a whole different ball. Uncle Mo goes on the side of Dallas. Okay, and who knows what they could have done. Unfortunately for Dallas, the CeeDee Lamb injury really, really affected him. All right.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
It was his fault. He shouldn't have stiff-armed Noah Sewell like that. Of course, I'm joking, but speaking of Noah Sewell, talk to me about how well he's played this year, absence of TJ Edwards. Because let me hear what you think about the way Noah Sewell has played in TJ Edwards' absence.
Yeah, I know it was before the game. I think it was maybe when Ben Johnson talked Friday and was kind of talking about the injuries at linebacker and corner, and was talking about, Tyreek's got to turn the page. But he said Noah Sewell is like the epitome of a linebacker, like the old school. He's going to hit the gaps. He's going to, just chase the ball down and all eyes on the ball all the time. So in that aspect, he's been great and has helped out a lot in, getting tackles, and he's always up there. I think, Tremaine had a bunch, like 14 tackles that led the team, but Noah Sewell's been racking up a lot of tackles as well.
He had 11.
I think,
Sunday.
yeah. And I think the coverage is still a little bit where he's falling behind. And, we knew that, in his game, he's not the best coverage linebacker compared to TJ Edwards. So I think it'll be interesting once TJ comes back, if it's week 4 or if it's week 6 against the Commanders after the bye week. But when TJ gets back on the field, how they work in all 3 guys into the defense will be interesting to see. Because I think maybe they try to do one less defensive back maybe, and try to really, use the linebackers to blitz the quarterback, use the linebackers to stop the run, and, help out, a depleted defensive back room, and maybe take a defensive back off the field and, majority of the situations. But right now, what we're seeing out of Noah Sewell is a guy who's flying over the ball all after the football, in the run game, and just the coverage needs to pick up a little bit more. But I think he's been playing really well, and TJ coming back is going to be a big boost in that coverage department.
Noah Sewell is a guy that I was a big fan of at Oregon. His senior year, his last year there, his stock dropped because they had a coaching change. All right, and he wasn't as productive as he was his junior year. His junior year, he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was up for the Butkus Award. He was one of the best linebackers in the country. And so the Bears saw that, and they drafted him a couple of seasons ago, but he's always been hurt. And he finally got a chance this year to, 1, stay healthy, but 2, to show what he can do. And I was a fan of his, and I'm really happy for him that he's cashed in on it, because he is – you're right, Cole. He's flying all over the place. All right, he's always around the ball, always in there, and as evidenced by his 11 tackles, this past week. The dude is really, really, really making the most of his opportunity, and he's going to make it very difficult when TJ Edwards is going to get the job back because he's signed. So it's sorry, homie, but he might cause TJ Edwards to lose snaps. And again, not that TJ Edwards has played bad. I like TJ. I'm a big fan of his. But you got a younger guy in there who's playing, and I just love that competition, because if something happens, or you can rotate. TJ Edwards is tired, he gets hurt again. You throw this guy in, and you know that the quality of play at that linebacker position does not dip at all.
Right. Yeah, and even TJ Edwards, he's a guy that's been top 10 in tackles. Every year he's been in Chicago.
Yes,
so
he has.
He's still a really good ball player and can really fill in that same role that Noah Sewell is playing. And then the coverage aspect. And yeah, they're going to rotate these guys. I think that was the plan going into it before TJ Edwards got hurt, was rotating those 3, and trying to keep all 3 guys fresh and all 3 guys producing. And Dennis Allen's been doing a good job mixing both of them up, because we know Tremaine Edmonds is great in coverage, but they're both looking good against, when it comes to getting after the run game. I want to see some more. I know Dennis Allen's trying to manipulate some pressures a little bit. But maybe I want to see like some TJ Edwards or Tremaine Edmonds getting after the quarterback a little bit more too. But it's going to be exciting once all 3 of those guys are on the field and mixing in.
Secondary, Quan Brisker came. He was bringing it. He was bringing it. Talk to me about how you
him talking trash on social media, or not talking trash, but I don't know if you saw him on Twitter during the week, but he was like, "Use me," like replying to a guy about not putting him down the box. He was like, "Use me," and I was like, "Yeah, use him."
Talk to me about Kwani B himself and his physical style of play, and how that really set the tone for the Bears on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Brisker he's the energy. I mean, you talked about all the players, like Byard, especially during training camp, when he got back on the field, they're like, you feel it. And Dennis Allen Ben Johnson said the same thing, like you feel it when Brisker's on the field. And it took a little bit to get him going, and it's the same thing with Brisker. Once they get Brisker and Gordon out there at the same time, and they're kind of like going to be playing the same position, just on opposite ends of the field, like moving down into the box, fitting in, some of those run fits on the outside, and laying some big hits, whether it's screens or bubbles, like making some negative plays. That's where those guys are really going to shine, and they're just missing that on the other side of the field. But Brisker's certainly brought the energy, because I think he had like 9 pass rush snaps after having less than 5, I believe it was, or 6 the week before. So they're trying to get him down there a little bit more and get after the quarterback too. But yeah, he brings a lot of energy and fire to that defense, and Oh, that's what we saw them overall playing with. Starting with the Tyreek Stevenson play, but the energy was there, and those guys are really bringing it.
Defensive line wasn't as active as I would have liked. They did have a couple of sacks, a couple of TFLs. Talk to me about those guys. You had Montez Sweat, Dom Robinson, D-Rob. He ended up with a sack. They just didn't block him on that play. That was one of the easiest plays that you could ever get a sack, but nonetheless, you get a sack. Talk to me about that, about the big boys up front and their pressure all day.
Yeah, I think Deo still a little bit. You want to see more out of Deo. Odengbo, he wasn't quite there. He had 3 pressures, but Montez turned it up. I think he certainly got the message. He had 6 pressures and a sack in that game after they called out him not winning his one-on-ones that as they would like. And then Dom Robb, that was his first solo sack since the Bears drafted him. He had a half sack before. That was like his first solo he got to the quarterback. So that was good to see. I wrote about him at the beginning of the year after Austin Booker went down, of how he's a guy that they've really been impressed with, and he's going to really have to step up being, the top rotational guy of that defensive line, especially on the edge. So it was good to see him have that moment against the Cowboys. Tremaine Edmonds he got the 3rd sack too. So he got in there and got a sack. But yeah, Sweat stepped up big time. I think Grady Jarrett, he looked a little bit healthier compared to the Detroit game. I don't know because that was a late decision of making him ready to go in week 2. So week 3, that knee injury looked to be not as limiting as it was the game before. So Grady Jarrett was smack talking against the center. We saw Shamar Turner. He mixed in a little bit. He played 13 pass rush snaps, but we got the 2nd round pick at least active and on the field. I don't know if you saw the play where Shamar Turner was barking at the offensive lineman, but he brings some energy too. He was literally straight up barking at the guy standing right in front of him after a play. I'm happy after the bye week. A lot of people forget too, we're getting Austin Booker back. Hopefully, if it's in week 6, maybe he might need a little bit more, but that IR designation opens after the bye week, I believe. Or maybe it's after the 4th game, but either way.
It's after the 4th game, so he's got to miss 4 games, and he hasn't played all year. So
yeah. So when he gets back, he'll bring some juice too, because he looked pretty good in the preseason.
I was very happy they got Shamar Turner in there. He's a guy that I think can benefit a lot from Grady Jarrett because they're both similar type players. They're both nasty. They're both loud. They're both obnoxious. They're both rambunctious. I really like that. And to have a guy like Shamar Turner be under the wing of a guy like Grady Jarrett for a year or two, I think can really, really, really help his development. Excuse me. I think certain players gravitate toward certain players. And I hope that Shamar Turner has gravitated toward Grady Jarrett or vice versa, because they are both the same type of player. All right. They are both relentless. They both have a motor that doesn't stop. And Grady Jarrett has been a productive member of the Falcons for 9 years. All right. He's been one of the stud defensive tackles in the NFL. And to pass that knowledge on to our rookie and hope he picks up these things does nothing but wonders for this Bear team in the future moving forward, and Shamar Turner's development. How awesome would that be if this guy turns into another Grady Jarrett type player? Okay, Gervon Dexter, Montez Sweat, and maybe Booker becomes the other end, but we still got Dio Odengbo for a while. That'd be one heck of a transformation or a comparison to say that dude plays like a Grady Jarrett, when Grady Jarrett is here.
Yeah, and you always want one of those guys, at least on your defensive line. The fact they got 2 so similar, and it's not like Grady's on a 1-year deal either. They're going to have Grady for a couple of years, and we'll see how his play diminishes or if they try to get off that contract. But they're at least going to have him for 2 years. So that gives you time to not have to force Shamar Turner out there. And I know there was the penalty issues he had, and sometimes he got a little bit of a hothead in college, so you want to try to reel that in just a little bit in his game, and this gives him time, being able to sit for 2 games, kind of watch from the sideline, and then put him in on the field in week 3. He's starting to finally mix in a little bit, but yeah, over time, I think Shamar Turner is going to be a real player, especially if Gervon Dexter continues stepping up. They give him his 2nd contract. That's your interior is already set with 2 really, really good young players that, Gervon brings a lot of pass rush energy, and then Shamar Turner brings a lot of the fire and mentality to that defensive line for, the next couple of years.
Why do you think we're having issues stopping the run? All three teams that we played have been able to run on us. What is it that you think we need to do to stop the run? Because if we continue to be gashed by the run, we're going to lose the majority of the rest of these games because it's just going to take its toll on our defense. What do we need to do to stop this bleeding?
Yeah, it's not one of the things where like you look at it and you can look at it and say the offense got ahead, so then the Cowboys were being they were the team this time forced into a passing game, and they couldn't really go back to the run game. But even that Minnesota game, they were kind of in a passing game, but they got Jordan Mason involved and they got back in that game because they gashed us on the ground. So it's not something you can just say, well, if we're scoring points and we're staying ahead, it kind of goes by the wayside. Well, it's still an issue on both sides of the ball is the run game. You got to stop the run on offense, and the offensive line and Swift has to, be more efficient because it's not a sustainable, a sustainable process for either side of the ball. And it worked in week 3, but again, that's a bad Cowboys, defense, and then the offense. They kind of just, had their way defensively where they put them in a bad hole to try to work out of. But once we start playing some better teams again, and now I'm not going to discredit the Raiders either. They can be a really good team. This could be the Ashton Jeanty breakout game if they don't protect and do what they need to in the run game, because Ashton Jeanty is still waiting on his big performance. So I don't want to see that this week. I want to see them tighten up those run fits. It's a bad Raiders offensive line. Take advantage of that and try to get some push up front and fill in those holes. Especially on the outside is where they're kind of getting beat as some of the outside runs, like that Javonte Williams. Big carry was an outside play. So they just need to start filling in that. And again, some of the guys coming back, if it's this week or after the bye week, we know how good Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards can be against the run. That'll help some too. But it's not something they can just say like, I worked in week 3 and we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
That's a great point. I definitely don't want an Ashton Jeanty breakout game. Welcome to the NFL game this week. He's been throttled. That's because they can't block. They can't block the run. They can't run block. Raiders cannot run block. All right, because if they could run block a little bit, Ashton Jeanty would have found a hole and been able to do something. These guys can't run block for shit.
Yeah,
and I like that. And maybe this. Could this team be for our defense as was for our offense? By that I mean Dallas' defense wasn't good. They were missing some of their corners. They didn't have a good pass rush. They didn't get to Caleb at all. He had his uniform was clean after the game. All right, and he threw 4 tutties. Could it be the same for our defense this week when this offensive line just out and out sucks? Can the Bears really get back on track with stopping this young superstar to be running back in Ashton Jeanty?
Yeah, this could be, a good opportunity for them. Like you said, it's a good matchup against a bad offense. Trey Tucker was pretty much their entire offense of the Raiders last week. He had 8 for 145 and 3 touchdowns. Woo. So there's still a little bit of some downfield concern with some of these speed guys that could really attack a Noshawn Wright, really attack a Tyreek Stevenson if they let their guard down. So it's on that pass rush. Pass rush hits home, secondary won't get beat deep. It's as simple as that. So it's a good a bad offensive line, and a good matchup for the defensive line to hit home. So if they get after Geno Smith and get some, some sacks and some hits on Geno, they'll knock him out of his game. Because even last week against the Commanders, Geno Smith had a 132 passer rating that I'm looking at, and Geno's a veteran guy. So I don't want this to look like a Raiders team where you're going to try to just, it's the Raiders. We get a good matchup this week. Let's not really overlook or look past. We can look past them and prepare for the bye week. I don't want to say it's a trap game, but this is a game where the Bears got to prove that they can prove how to respond to success, like Ben Johnson said, and still prepare the right way for this team and not overlook them just because you got a big win last week. Because that's how a veteran guy and a veteran coach like Geno Smith and Pete Carroll can take advantage and try to steal one at home in week 4.
And that's what I said earlier. And one of my guys in the chat, Black Diamond, he said the same thing. I'll find it for you. But it was what the proper respect they deserve. All right. They are an NFL team. All right. They can beat you. You don't prepare properly. You don't go into the game with the proper mentality. Okay. Diamond says, "The top of the morning, gang." He goes, "We got to treat this as a trap game. We should run them out of Allegiant Stadium, as you say, Shawn. Give your opponent the proper respect, and you will dominate." And that's what we need to do. They get paid just like you do. All right, they're professional football players just like you are, and to do that and remember that and prepare as if they can beat you, is the way to go, because now you're not expecting. Now any cheap shit's not going to get by you because you prepared properly. I think that's important, and I think that's important that those players get that, and Ben understands that, because we can get back to 500.
Right.
Okay. With a new system, a new coach, new players, you get to 500, you got a break to go into the rest of the season. That'd be a phenomenal way to finish your first 4 games or the first quarter of this 2025 NFL season.
Definitely, and they get a long break too. They play Monday night, Week 6 against Washington, and that's a big primetime game that you want to avenge the loss of last year, where the season went haywire after that game, and make it a statement where you come out of the bye and then you're at 3-2, you're above 500. That's a big moment for them. But again, you cannot look past this week, because if you go into the bye week 1-3, then you're in a hole. Then there's a lot of talk of what happens when you lose that game. You start out 1-4 if you lose with the Commanders, so you can't look past week 4. And I thought, the message was pretty good. I mean, even what Ben Johnson said in the locker room after the win on Sunday, Kevin Byard is already getting in front of the team. It's like, hey, let's celebrate this, but we got to turn the page. We got to look ahead. Same level of preparation, same level of practice this week against the Raiders. We can't try to get, too ahead of ourselves with this. And I read about, that aspect exactly this morning, and then looked at it. The last time Chicago won consecutive games was weeks 4 and 6 of last season. And that was almost a full calendar year ago. So this team, It's a big opportunity for them to, prove that they learned how to handle success and handle winning games and not getting too hot and, in the head that, they can overlook an opponent and just think that they're better than everybody else because they beat a bad team.
Yeah, I think Ben's going to be on them, because you really haven't done shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're 1-2.
Still a lot to prove.
A lot of other people got 1 win. A lot of people got 2 wins. Some people got 3 wins. For them to even for them to even consider taking this team lightly because they won last week is ludicrous to me. And I hope Ben Johnson is as blunt about it as I am. Like, you ain't done shit.
Yeah.
You won 1 game out of 3. That's only good in baseball, 333. That's all. That's good. Not in football. So I think it's if he goes about it that way, which I think he will, just by what we see, his demeanor and just our interaction with him on a daily basis, I think he will. Let's go to the offense. Caleb, talk to me about his performance. How happy were you with it? Do you feel more comfortable with Caleb going forward now after having that good game? Talk to me about give me your assessment of Caleb on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that's just maybe what Caleb looks like with a clean line.
Crazy,
I mean,
huh?
that was the first game of his career he was not sacked.
Yep.
And I saw one tweet talking about when he was talking to Tom Brady after doing like the interview, the LFG award he got from Brady. But the tweet was talking about, look how clean that kid's jersey is. When has the number 18 ever looked that clean on Caleb Williams' jersey? It was still white. There was no splotches, no grass stains, nothing on his jersey. And that's the performance that happens when you keep that guy clean. So that's part of it. The other part too, I think it's continued growth, another step forward for Caleb Williams. The Roma Dunze touchdown I wrote about specifically because that was a play he missed to DJ Moore, where DJ knew he had the guy beat in week 1 against the Vikings, threw up the mailbox arm, threw up the mailbox, and then Caleb just missed the throw. Roma Dunze does the same thing, and look what happened. Like, it's a big play touchdown, 1 play drive. They're up, 7-0 going into it. So that was growth from Caleb. He was making big throws. That throw to Luther Burden, I think it was right before the half, where he was looking the defender toward DJ and just, zipped it right over 2 defenders to Luther Burden, kind of like in the middle. That was a big time throw. That one to, I think, Zacchaeus or maybe it was a Dunze on the right side, where like there was a short pass, but the defender was right in his face. It looked like a throwaway, but he kind of just rifled it right to I think it was Dunze or Zacchaeus, but either way, like it could have been a throwaway, but it turned into, still like moving the ball a little bit forward. So he's making some big throws out there. There's a couple he missed or would have liked back. But for the most part, that he was firing on all cylinders, and it's because there's no negative plays. They're staying ahead of the sticks, and just letting him go out there and just, fire to his reads. And Ben Johnson talked about the best part is even if the one read's not there, he has the ability to now get to a second read or even get out of the pocket, because we saw a little bit of some nifty scrambles in that game as well. I think he's just finally starting to figure it out.
It's going to take time. That's all we needed to do. And I think
he's still like 20 games into his career.
Yeah, that's it. 20 games. And I think it's going to take time. I think this was a great step forward for him. I think this is a big exhale moment for him. I talk about confidence, and people have confidence. They have full confidence or fake confidence. Like, I can do it. I'm this. Yeah, but you haven't done it.
Right.
Okay. You get real confidence when you do it. And Caleb just did it. All right. Game 1. Now his thing is he's got to stack them. Now he's got to stack game. Give me another 300-yard game. Give me another 300-yard game, 3 or 4 tutty. Give me another 300-yard game, 3 or 4 tutty. Give me another 300-yard game, 3 or 4 tutties. And that is going to build the confidence that we need for him. And, Ben Johnson said we're going to be playing our best football in December. Yeah, he might have been off. That shit might be in November or maybe late October. It could, you know what I mean? It could be. And if it is, this Bear team is going to surprise a lot of people. Talk to me about Caleb's ability to spread the ball out. 4 touchdowns, 4 different receivers.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Like, he was getting everyone involved, and I think Ben Johnson, going into the game, like, it looked like he wanted the tight ends involved. Colson Loveland ran 3 routes and had 3 targets as like the number 1 read. Like, he wanted to get Colson involved. He had a 31-play shot play and then got hurt, and that was really unfortunate because I thought Loveland was about to be in for a big game the way that first drive was
you and me both.
And I was like, oh, come on. And then, they couldn't really get Komet going until like the only target he had was that touchdown. So that was a good one because it was a well-schemed play. He was wide open in the end zone. And the same thing with the DJ touchdown, wide open in the end zone. How many times last year did we see a guy wide open in the end zone and Caleb just didn't see him? That was like another part of like the Caleb growth, is seeing those guys and getting the ball to them. And I think even with Burden played, I think it was 17 snaps or something like that, 15, 17 snaps. And seeing him get that involved, it just shows, I think, more about the game plan and the practice and of Ben Johnson and like the scheme, like scheming his guys. He knows he's not going to have Luther Burden for the 50 snaps he has DJ Moore, but he's making the most of those 17 snaps he has Luther Burden on the field, and drawing up a flea flicker touchdown or just ways like that. He's trying to get everyone involved too. So it goes in hand. Like, they're really doing a good job getting these guys involved in the passing game, and then Caleb's really starting to do a lot better job of finding his guys and hitting those reads when he needs to.
Talk about Ben Johnson's ability to scheme. How great do you feel? Well, we are finally never really outcoached. I know Dan Campbell beat our ass last week, okay, but it wasn't because we were out schemed, but our offense. All right,
right.
When we go into a game, we're equally, if not equally yoked, if not have an advantage with our offensive mind, with our play caller. How refreshing does that feel to you? Because the Bears have never, I can't tell you the last time, if ever, I remember where the Bears had the advantage with the play caller versus their opponent.
Yeah, the games they were losing, they were beating themselves on offense. They were having false starts. They were having illegal man downfield. They were having DeAndre Swift run into somebody and immediately fall down 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, like setting up 2nd and 20s and 3rd and 25. So now they're on the same page themselves. They're not gonna. It's very few teams are gonna out coach Ben Johnson. Like, he was voted like a top 3 play caller in the NFL, and we saw why in that game. So it's something they haven't seen in Chicago in quite a while. So it's definitely refreshing to see. And I think Ben Johnson is diabolical. I think he's calculated. He knows what he's going to be doing every single play. And he's frustrated if he's not getting the maximum effort out of all of his guys on every single play. There's a couple of run plays where they showed Ben Johnson on the sideline. He was just shaking his head. They got 3 yards. He's just shaking his head. He doesn't want 3 yards on that play. So it's every single play is extremely detailed. It's, they're scheming things the right way. The way he talked about that trick play and the staff finding that as an advantage against Eberflus's defense from what he saw the first 2 games and what Eberflus defense, how they played in Chicago. It's the same thing he said about the stumble bump they ran in Detroit against Matt Eberflus. This guy does incredible research. He's incredibly prepared every single week, and it's definitely refreshing to see.
I don't know if it's an issue yet. Give me your thoughts on the lack of targets to DJ Moore. DJ Moore he's been second in targets the last 2 weeks. I think he was 7 targets and 5 catches. But he continually goes to Rome, by hook or by crook. Game 1, he missed. He went to Rome in the end zone, was double covered. DJ was on the 3-yard line with a crosser. He missed him. Is that going to be a problem?
I don't know that it's a problem. I don't want to look too much into the targets per week because I think Ben Johnson kind of said it's going to change, and it depends on practice. It depends on the matchup going into the game. So it's not going to be like a consistent, these guys get 7 targets a game every single week. But it seems like that way with Rome, especially the last few weeks. Rome's been the go-to guy.
He forces it to him like Cutler to Marshall.
Right. Yeah. I think that it's just Rome is just winning some of those. I haven't looked into DJ's all 22 yet. I know I did last week, and I remember talking about it with you. I was like, DJ's just not getting open. It's like they want to get the ball to him, but it's just, he's not getting there. This tight coverage with DJ Reed on him. So I haven't looked at this game yet. I'll look at it, go through all the DJ routes and see what was working and not working for him. I still want to see more backfield usage. You practice that so much, and the run game struggling so much. I think it adds a different element to the offense if you can get 2 tight ends or even Burden in the field out wide, and then you put DJ in the backfield. I think that's your best 11 on offense. So I want to see some of that as well, and maybe start manufacturing some easy touches for DJ because he's incredible after the catch. That guy's a running back. He is like Deebo Samuel, and that's the way they want to use him, like Caleb said. So try to get some of those manufactured touchers for him. If it's not working with him running routes, start doing easy plays where you get the ball, like some touch passes on jet sweeps, some screens or whatever it needs to be to get DJ the ball and let him work, because I just don't think he's winning on the routes based on what I saw the game before.
I find that hard to believe because here's why. He was in Carolina 5 years, had 5,000 yards. He was the only thing they had in Carolina. He didn't have a complimentary receiver. He didn't have a running back. Hell, he didn't even have a quarterback. He had 5 different – I think he had 7 different quarterbacks, 8 different quarterbacks that he played with in Carolina in his 5 years. Everyone, their mama knew who was getting the ball, who the ball was going to in the pass plays, and he still got 5,000. He still averaged 1,000 yards a season in Carolina in 5 seasons. Why can't he – why is he not getting open, or why is Caleb not forcing the ball to him? Because this is our number 1 receiver. They paid this man $111 million. And that's a lot. And if you don't – you never really want to tell the quarterback where to throw the ball, but you're going to have to tell the quarterback where the hell to throw the ball. Like, look, dude, you need to make him your first priority because he's our highest receiver. Do you think that they should or could do that or would do that?
Yeah, I think, like I was saying, it just comes down to manufacturing those touches for him. Like, yeah, he's got to win his routes, and Caleb's got to find him when he does. But I just don't know that he's really turned into that kind of player anymore. I think his game's kind of morphed. Like, for whatever reason, after that 2023 year, like, I don't understand why he couldn't be a downfield player anymore. They didn't use him like that last year. They're not really using him like that this year. Like, the amount of times Justin Fields hit DJ Moore deep, they were the best deep, QB wide receiver combo in the NFL. It was automatic. Every time Justin Fields went deep, it was DJ Moore beating a guy deep. And ever since that season, he just hasn't been that guy for some reason. And I don't know, like, it's not scheme because now it's 2 different, style coordinators, 3 technically style coordinators that have called it plays for DJ trying to get him the ball. And I was wondering, hopefully we see like the mix of, manufactured touches plus some deep shots from from Ben Johnson, but Burden seems to be now going into that deep shot role. When they go 2 wide receivers and go heavy, like the play action deep shots of the Ben Johnson offense, Burden's been the guy that's been out there. So I think it's just, I don't know. I don't think they get rid of DJ mid-season if things aren't working out, just because you need as much talent around Caleb as possible. But with how much they're paying him, it is a frustration if we get to the end of the year and DJ Moore finishes 3rd on the team in touches. You got to look at like the cost advantage of that and weigh if that's still something it's worth paying with his contract, or if you want to try another, find another team to pay it. So we'll see what happens toward the end of the year. But right now, I'm not overly concerned about how the touches are kind of looking, because like you said, he's spreading the ball around pretty well. I don't want to get to a point where we're trying to feed one guy in particular.
I don't know about feed in particular, but if he's your best receiver, your highest paid,
right,
I think you need to go to him. Now, who's to say Rome doesn't take over that slot as best receiver in a year or two? I don't think Rome's the best receiver now. Okay, but it doesn't mean that he can't take that slot in a year or two. Mm-hmm. And I think I have an issue with that, because you have a guy, and I think if you feed DJ, it's only going to help Rome.
Yeah,
it's only going to help Rome and Luther Burden. And I mean, there's so many weapons now that you got. Like you force feed DJ, and that DJ the next couple games have a couple of 100-yard games. People are like, oh shit, man, now we got to go back to DJ. And then now you have a secondary corner, the number 2 or number 3 corner on Rome, who could legitimately be a number 1 receiver on a lot of other teams.
Right.
I think it's frustrating, because I have a conspiracy theory on it, and it bothers me, because I like DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And I think he's the best receiver we had in a long time. And I'm not saying this, not to say that Rome can't be better than DJ. I'm not saying that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, DJ is the best receiver we have. And to not
force I think with how good, right? I think with how good Rome's doing, I think the coverage starts to shift a little bit, and that's when we start seeing DJ start getting more opportunities, where they start trying to prioritize stopping Odunze in the passing game. Then we see more sort of signs. That's why I was saying, like, it's more matchup dependent than trying to get him the ball every week just because he's our top guy. But eventually he's going to have one of these breakout games. I don't know if it's going to be this week, but like maybe the Washington game again, because he did good in both games against Washington the last.
I know. What the hell, dude? He goes crazy.
Like, eventually they're going to start not disrespecting DJ Moore defensively, and Ben Johnson's going to make him pay for it.
And maybe you're right. They are shading him because he is the number 1 receiver, and it's leaving Rome. So
yeah, this
could be exactly what the Bears need. All right, and exactly what they think about. All right, he's the number 1 receiver. We're going to shade him. We're going to throw a double team on him. All right, Rome being another number 1 receiver against a number 2 corner. That's not going to work out pretty well for the number 2 corner. So I think maybe that's the issue. It bugs me because there are times where he was open, and I need him to get the ball. When he's open, his ability to make plays after he has the ball in his hands is awesome. It's awesome.
He can turn like any touch into a big play.
Yeah, and the thing about it, he doesn't look that fast, but he just pulls away from people. Like, oh, he's got. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, he's tackling. No, he's not. He doesn't have that quick burst. It just, when he starts going, it's just crazy. So I hope you saw the little, how can I put it? It's like a Bronx cheer, like a Bronx celebration, I guess, when DJ scored a touchdown. I was like, yay, he finally hit me. When he threw his hands up, like, yay, you finally hit me.
Right.
I hope he stays focused. I hope DJ stays professional, because if he does, there are going to be some times, and man, this because DJ's here for another few more years. Rome's still on his rookie deal. Rome's got 2 years left with a 5th-year option after this season. All right, Luther Burden just signed; he's here for 4.
Mm-hmm.
To have these 4 guys here for the next 3-4 years, are you freaking kidding me? When Caleb finally understands this God blessed offense in 26 and in 27,
yeah.
Like that can be literally the
promising.
greatest show on turf. That could be the greatest show on turf if in 27 we move into Arlington. That's going to be, no, probably like 28, 29. But you see what I'm saying? Like these freaking guys, and Loveland, same thing. He's on another 4-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Caleb has a better grasp of this offense. Cole, this is going to get kind of scary for a lot of teams, especially in the NFC North.
Yep.
FGB is what my guy Rick always says. FGB.
They're young too. Don't count out the Packers.
Yeah,
both of them have like really young, really talented offense.
However, I've said this the last couple of years. I'll continue to say it. Jordan Love will throw that ball to the opposing team. He will do it.
Caleb Bolt.
He will do that.
Yeah.
And you saw it last week in their loss to Cleveland. He's got to throw a pick. He's got to. That's just who he is. And he's not as talented enough as a Rodgers was back in the day and a Favre was back in the day to shake off an interception or two. Like, I do 3, no biggie. I'll get a touchdown this drive. He's not that talented. So things are looking pretty good. What about the run game, man? We DeAndre Swift, there's a lot of people still calling for another running back. What did you see about DeAndre Swift? What did you see about Kyle Monangai? And what did you not see? And what does that tell you about Roschon Johnson?
Yeah, we didn't see Roschon for the second week in a row, so I think he's just out of the equation until we actually see him.
And he was dressed. He was dressed.
Second week in a row. Monangai had good carries. I thought he was hitting the right holes at the right time, and he was able to put his head down and kind of just push through the hole. That's something that Swift doesn't do. Swift, sees the hole close up and tries to bounce it into another one, and the linebacker was there waiting on him a couple of times. So still some of those inside the tackle things that we're seeing out of DeAndre Swift. But that screen pass, he looked great. He turned that screen pass into like a 60-something yard play. Like he's still explosive. So I understand still wanting to get him the ball. Monangai, that 8-yard loss was crazy. Where like he gained 3 and went back 8. That was I don't know what happened there. I was like hoping. I was like, keep just bounce off of him. But he's getting there. He got a little bit more work in this game. I don't think that they add anybody. I just don't think there's anyone out there to add. You can pay a lot at the deadline and get Alvin Kamara, who is kind of like Swift but better inside the tackles. But at that point, how long is it going to take a new running back to learn this offense? Because look how long it took the running backs and the offensive players that are already here to learn this offense. I don't think you can bring a guy in mid-season and make an impact this year. But it's going to be a situation, again, you look at the end of the year, the cost benefit of DeAndre Swift. How did he look for us this year? How much are we paying him? Is it worth adding someone else in? Is it worth adding someone to add with DeAndre Swift, which should have been the decision going into this year that they add someone with DeAndre Swift? So we'll see. It goes back to what Ben Johnson said about Javonte Williams really frustrated me during the week because he talked about how good of a scouting report Declan Doyle had on him during free agency and going into this week. Because if they had Javonte and Swift, that would have been a good duo. And I talked about him being an option during the offseason. And I didn't even think about the Declan connection of him knowing him from their time in Denver working together. Even though he was working with the tight ends, he still saw him in the building every day and knew what he was about. So that was the one where I heard it this week. I was like, that's the one you missed right there. You could have added him for pretty cheap because Dallas didn't pay that much to get Javonte Williams because it wasn't even running back one money that they gave him. So he's going to be a free agent next year. Some of the guys they talked about on trades are all going to be free agents, like Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, ETN are all going to be free agents next year. So they'll look into, that room, especially in the offseason. But right now, I think they're just going to keep what they got and, try to manufacture touches because that long drive, the 19-play drive, 11 straight runs, the running backs did awful on that drive. When you look at the stats and the carries they actually had, what were the big plays was the DJ had 7 rushing yards. And then Burden on 3rd and 4 had a 7-yard carry to keep the drive alive. Those were the runs that were actually impressive on that one. So more of that, again, like I said, more of DJ at running back potentially helps out a little bit. But I don't think you see any big changes personnel wise added to the room because it would take a new guy a lot of time to learn the offense Ben's putting in.
Yeah, I'm done with DJ in the backfield. I don't want to see his ass back there. No.
You're already out on it?
Yeah, I'm out. All right. If he's in the backfield, he better not be carrying that God blessed ball. Get him out of the linebacker. All right, get him an arrow route, get him a swing route, get him a wheel route, get him something to put that linebacker in conflict. Just don't hand him the ball. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't want to see it. I just think that there's a lot more ways to use DJ Moore. If you want to give him the ball, get him in motion, give him a jet sweep. But man, I'm not. No, I'm done with that. That's nonsense, and I am completely out on it. Braxton Jones. All right, talk to me. There's a lot of talk about him. All right, talk to me about your assessment of him in this game. He obviously no sacks for Caleb, so that means Braxton Jones played well. Didn't hear his name called, which is always a great sign. Talk to me about Braxton Jones. Is he finally getting into football shape and maybe a little strength since last year in his surgery?
I think that's what it was, because when you listen to Dan Rochar talked about him last week, Ben Johnson talked about him last week as well, and both of them said the same kind of review, is that he hasn't played 4 quarters and that he's fallen off in the second half, and they think it was more to do with the wear and tear of the game and getting back into the swing of things, like you said, of missing that much time from football. And yeah, he didn't give up a pressure, didn't give up a sack or a hurry, like they were saying there. So that was tremendous to see. I know Ben, when they asked about Braxton, he immediately, just because this is how Ben's wired, went to the run game, and he was like, "Yeah, he did a good job keeping everybody clean, but the run game, I think we could pick up the run game." I lumped the whole offensive line into that. That's just nitpicky Ben Johnson trying to find ways to get better and improve every single game, and looking at what didn't work versus what did. But Braxton looked really good in pass protection, and I specifically wrote about him earlier in the week and how good he looked, because that was a big thing that they wanted to see, was him play for 4 quarters. I didn't know if that didn't seem like, when they were talking about him not playing good for 4 quarters, it wasn't quite like a threat of do this or we're going to pull you out, but it was more of a push. Let's see it for 4 quarters. And if we don't see it this game in week 4, then we make a move at the bye week. But he took that message to heart, and he played good for 4 quarters, protected Caleb, and it was encouraging to see. And if we see it more and more from him, that'd be great. And then we'll see how he bounces back in the second game against the Raiders, because if they start moving Max Crosby around, it'll be a tough guy to go up against. But I think they try to keep him on that right side against Darnell, so this would be a big matchup for Darnell against Max Crosby.
I think you're right, and it's going to definitely a big matchup for him, because Darnell Rice has been inconsistent most of this year.
Yeah.
Some would even say he's regressed. This would be a great statement game. If you remember 21, I don't know if you're covering football at that point, but dude, the kid from Iowa, the Bears had a guard, James Daniels.
Yeah, went to Pittsburgh.
He shut down Aaron
Donald.
Aaron Donald for the Rams. Literally shut him down. His rookie. He was a rookie, and Aaron Donald was Superman, and he shut his ass down. Wow, that was. Maybe this could be one of those days for Darnell Wright, where they have to move him because Max Crosby isn't making any noise, is not really doing anything, isn't being effective because of Darnell Wright. That would be a great comeback game. Caleb had a great comeback game last week. This could be a great comeback game for Darnell Wright to have that matchup with him and him stone him, play in and play out.
Yeah, but the big thing with Darnell is if I hear him get another penalty, I'm going to be annoyed, because he had another false start and another illegal man downfield. And otherwise, the offensive line played great with the penalties. But again, he's the reoccurring issue with the penalties. And that's the biggest worry I have with Darnell, because I think he's looked good. Yeah, it's been a little inconsistent, but he should, his good is really, really good when he's good. So yeah, if he can do it for a full 4 quarters this time against a guy like Max Crosby, this could be his come out game as well.
That would be great, and that'll that'll alleviate the next question I have. They talk about holding people accountable.
Yeah.
All right. Ozzy Trapilo was not dressed on Sunday. He's another healthy scratch. Darnell Wright's been having a couple of issues. We talked about the penalties. Is Darnell Wright made the example that they're going to make when you're not doing something, when you're not focused and locked in the way Ben wants you, and uses Ozzy Trapilo, who's only been working at right tackle, and Ben said he's going to get some time. Do they use Darnell Wright as the example of, okay, we're going to bench you just to kind of get the word out, not the word out, but just to kind of to set the example for this locker room that even if you're a starter, you can be replaced.
Yeah. It would be if the penalties again are more egregious than they have been, or not more egregious, but like show up again. Like if it's still an egregious amount of penalties on specifically Darnell Wright, and he would be the one. I don't know if it'd be Ozzy because it looks like Theo's still the guy. Theo's still the swing tackle, and when Braxton went down and he had that little elbow injury and he went back in, but he missed that whole 2-minute drive and Theo was in there. And I wrote about it like Theo played pretty good too. I thought he did all right in pass protection because there were a lot of pass plays on that drive. They went down and scored, and it was a small sample size for Theo, but it's what the coaches saw. I mean, they saw Theo as a better player right now than Ozzy. And I wrote, even what I wrote about, and then I don't discredit Ozzy by saying that. I think the depth is just that much better because it's not like last year when we're throwing Karan out there and Karan is getting beat and it looks bad, and you're putting other guys at tackle and it just doesn't look good. You try to move Matt Pryor over to right tackle and it just did not work out. I think the depth is just that much better to where we're talking about a second round pick as a guy that's coming along slow, but I think it's just they really did a great job trying to upgrade the depth in that room because they knew how important it would be.
Cole, great stuff as always, my man. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor though, before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yep. Yeah, I'm on Twitter at A2Z_slaw. And then you go to A2Zsports.com. You go to the team section. You can scroll down. They got all 32 teams, a couple college teams on there as well. But you just go to Chicago Bears, and we got the news pumping out there all day long. It'll be a big day today. Got some press conferences with Ben Johnson. Caleb Williams is going to be on the podium, and a full day of practice. So a lot of news to be coming out today.
Great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time, man.
Yep. Thank you, Shawn, as always.
All righty. Guys, that's Kole Noble from A to Z Sports. Appreciate it. There's a lot going on. I'm wondering about the situation with Darnell Wright, Braxton Jones, Noah Sewell. There's a lot I'm looking at. I'm looking forward to. I'm not concerned, but just interested in. Want to see how it plays out. All right, this Bears team is one that we got our first win. All right, cool. Celebrate a day, 24 hours, it's over. Now let's get back to reality. Where do we need to improve? Okay. Was that an anomaly because Dallas isn't very good? Or even if it was just the fact that Dallas sucked, can that springboard you into playing better? Can it? Can it springboard you into playing a lot more fundamentally sound? I don't know. Is Ben Johnson going to coach them to be more fundamentally sound and to take it up a notch from last week? I don't know, but we will find out on Sunday, 3:25. Guys, 2 hours is come and gone. I want to thank my man, Cole. Sorry. Kole Noble from A to Z Sports. We're coming out talking all things Bears with us. He's at A to Z Sports. You can check A2Zsports.com. Go to NFL, find the Bears. You'll see his articles. I'm anxious to see how this plays out. I'm fired up. I can't wait until Sunday. Unfortunately, I will not be in Vegas. That stinks. The thing is, I'm going to see a whole bunch of other people on my timeline, posting shots on the way to Vegas. And I even thought about reaching out to, and I still might do it. I might reach out to a travel agent friend of mine. They were putting together they had a package, see if they have anything, and if so, how much is it? Most likely won't take it because it's a flight and hotel. But if it's like, because flights now, let me see, if it's $1,500, there's no way. Because flights were $700, $800, $1,000. Because I saw some, that was the main issue. I looked the other day, but today's Wednesday, so you might have there might be some good flights. I found a space that was rated 8.5. It was downtown. It was $500 for 3 nights, which is doable, mad doable. And it's the flight, but the flight was $750. Now we're at $1,300. If I can get a flight $400, $300, we'll see. Then maybe your boy might be out there. But the chances are slim and none, and Slim's getting ready to leave town. But anyway, listen, phenomenal show. I want to thank Kole Noble. Great stuff. I want to thank you guys, man. You guys are awesome in the chat, as always. Thank you. I truly appreciate the love and the support you guys give me every single show. All right, I do. I really do. And I'm telling you, we're going to get that swag shop up. We're going to get this up there. This up there. Yeah, we got a lot of cool shit. All right. But listen, I got to get out of here. I have to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. All right. You guys have a phenomenal day. Let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right. I know there's most of the festivals are done, but hell, Bears season, meet up with your people. Go to a bar, watch the Bears game. Go to his house, go to their house, or have them come to your house, watch a Bear game. Go to a mutual friend's house, watch the Bear game, but spend time with your people. Spend time with your people. I'm telling you, you will be grateful you did. Okay? Spend time with them. All right? I know my father-in-law wants FGP. Yeah. Oh, doesn't he live up in Wisconsin, Junior? Doesn't he? I think he lives up there, doesn't he? That would be dope. That would be dope. But again, everyone in the chat, Junior, King Booker World, Shorty, Foster, Mashun, Cornelius, Black Diamond. I think I said Shorty. If not, Shorty. If I did, then I said it twice. Of course, my man Rick. I can't forget you, Rick. I can't forget you. And if I missed you, my apologies. My apologies. All right. You guys have a phenomenal day. From everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I will see you on Friday. Your boy is out.
Come on, place the bass. Get back.